Alright guys, it's your boy Shades and Trades here. Let's go over how I prepare my watch list for next week. Every Saturday I spend some time. As soon as I wake up, I'm like, let's get this out of the way so I can have the rest of the day free and do whatever I want. I go to my watch list and I immediately just from top to bottom, let me see if I can move this. Can I move this? There we go. So here's my enormous watch list. You can see it's pretty big. So I just go down one by one and see what's looking good for next week. So let's start with the big boys and work our way down to penny stocks. And this is literally all I do. Okay, so let's just start. Ready, set, go. Nvidia, I'm looking at this one, and boy, is that a big green candle. This thing has been in a strong uptrend. It got rejected on the MACD here. It wanted to cross under, but it didn't. Usually when it crosses under, usually it means we're going to retrace about $40, around that. Around something like that, 40 to 60 sometimes. Here we had a cross under and it dumped from 493 to like a $20 dump. Pretty weak compared to this pullback. Here we pulled back a little bit, but it didn't even cross under. Just to show you, like sellers are nowhere to be found. So this one would make for a good like swing trade with calls or shares if you believe it's going to continue to go higher. Netflix, I can't tell if this is going to break out or break down. This one looks like a descending triangle to me. Some people might call it a pennant. So this could go either way. It could either break down or it can break out. So something like this might be worth trading as long as you're not just blindly throwing money at it. You know, don't just blindly buy calls or puts. Don't assume the next move. React to how the stock moves on Monday. If it's going to break down, puts. If it breaks out, calls. So that's what I would be looking at there. SPY just crossed over in the MACD. Anytime that happens, we get a couple days of upside. So we might get some more movement and possibly a move to 500 in the coming days. Meta, I wouldn't touch this because it already had a big green day. Might get some retracement. I'm not touching that. Not after a big move. That's like chasing a penny stock after it's had a big move. So I'm not touching Meta. QQQ. Looks like it wants to get that crossover here. It has not happened on QQQ. It's lagging. But again, when it happens, boy, does it have a couple of days of upside. So we're waiting for that crossover, which if it does happen on Monday, it's time to buy calls or at the very least buy shares and just ride it up. Microsoft. Oh, Microsoft just got a crossover. And if it breaks 412 on Monday, boy, are we going to get a run up to 414 plus pretty easily too. So that's what I'd be looking for. Again, I know I'm sounding bullish, but that's because we just crossed under on the MACD and everything's just climbing higher. What is this? Oh no, this is not Bank of America. This is Boeing. I'm not touching that because they've been having issues. Tesla looks like a double bottom here. Might be worth playing. But I'm not touching it. I'm not. I think Netflix would be the better play and Nvidia because you want to trade something with strength, and those two, Nvidia, it's got a lot of strength to the upside as I just showed you. Netflix looks like it's gonna have a big move to one side or the other. So you want the big moves. If this thing goes for a gap close, it can get a pretty big move. Whether that happens on Monday, I don't know. It might happen if it comes up and breaks above 196. But I think Monday, you'd look to see if we get a crossover and a green bar. But there are some better plays right now. Apple, it bounced here at 181, so might be, well, nah, you know what? I wouldn't touch it. Because overall, it's in a downtrend. So I just wouldn't want to play that. I don't like playing anything that's in a downtrend over the long term. JPM, I don't care for it right now. Amazon, I don't like chasing things that have had big run-ups, big gaps, and a green close. It's like I feel like that's like chasing a penny stock. So I wouldn't touch it personally. Again, Nvidia, with the kind of strength it's been showing, just buy dips on Nvidia. Netflix looking like it's going to have a big move. So that's those would be the plays for Monday. You want to capture big moves, right? You don't want to capture some measly Apple stock making a $2 move when Netflix can make a $30 move. and you can make way more as long as you have good risk management. Again, don't just blindly buy calls and puts. It's only been 5 minutes for this video. Good. Okay, Google. I don't like buying anything that's not like it just crossed under, so I'm just not gonna buy it. I like stocks that have already crossed over in the MACD. XOP, I don't care for these ETFs. Coin, I don't like trading coin. I'd rather just buy Mara or Riot. But if those for those of you who like these kinds of stocks, who like trading options on coin, I mean, you would have to look for a breakout at 136 or look to buy dips at 122. But the dip looks like it's already been bought up, so I would look for the breakout above 136. That's what I do personally. Probably won't happen. Maybe it'll happen on Monday. I don't know. I don't know that stock well enough. I don't like trading it. I'd rather stick to Mora and Riot because they're just as volatile. Dash, if that gets a crossover in the MACD on Monday and breaks 110, I mean that's another play right there. I'm just giving you plays, guys. But most of these I wouldn't touch. It just Nvidia and Netflix alone are worth it because they're so volatile and they're ready to make another move. Shopify. Let's look at Uber. Like my watch list is huge, guys, but it literally takes like 10 minutes just to look through everything and see what's worth touching. Uber, not touching that. I don't care for it. The reason I don't care for most of these is because, like I said, Nvidia can move like $30 in one day. Netflix can move 50. We're trying to capture those big moves where you can make more than just a measly like $10. Arc K, no downtrending. Arc B, don't care for it. I'm just keeping an eye on it because I'm curious as to how these Bitcoin ETFs are going to move. But they're just following Bitcoin, so might as well just trade something more volatile and cheaper like Mora or Riot or CLSK. DKNG has just been absolutely ripping day after day. Might be worth buying dips on this one as it climbs higher and just day trading it day to day. Because even when it dips, even when it has a red candle close, it buyers are still stepping in, which is what's continuing this trend. Even after sellers took control here on this red candle, buyers just obliterated them. So DKNG might be worth day trading day to day, just taking advantage of the daily trend and green candle closes. This is downtrending. I don't think I need to draw a trend line every time I say that, but yeah, that's downtrending. So I'm just not. There's better plays. Literally, DKNG is a better play. So I'm not touching a firm. BAC, don't care for it. Yeah, I don't care for it. It looks like it's ready to cross under, which usually means we're going to get some downside. Path trending downward, so I'm not touching that. Beto, that's just another Bitcoin ETF, I believe. So it's just better to stick to more Riot. I probably should clean up my watch list and just get rid of the shit that I don't even care for. CLF, it's I just don't like the way it's moving. It looks like it's downtrending to me. There's just better stocks with more strength. Mara, yeah, Mara has to break. It has to break out above 18, 19 to be more specific. Right now it's ranging, so if it gets that breakout at 19 and holds up above it, we're going to 20 again. So that's something to keep an eye on for Mara. Snap, don't. It looks like it might cross over, but this thing's this thing trending to the downside right now? Oh, why am I using that? Come on, trend line. All right, so this is what I'm seeing, a downtrend. So I'm just not touching it. Automatically not interested, regardless of the fact that the MACD is about to cross over. Not interested. Although if you want to play this one, if it crosses over in the MACD and it breaks above 1750, it might be worth it. But not for me. Gold, which has been downtrending. F, Ford downtrending. Riot, it follows Bitcoin. So again, this one has to break above 12 or 1160 and hold up above it. But probably 12. It has to break 12 and hold up above it for it to make that next move to 1250 and 13. So that's kind of something you want to keep an eye on if you want to trade that. Hood, downtrending, CLSK. It just follows Bitcoin. This is another Bitcoin. Anything that follows Bitcoin, we're just trading sideways and waiting for a breakout or breakdown. So depending on what you want to trade or what your favorite Bitcoin miner is, I mean, you can trade either or. Mara, Riot, or CLSK. Either way, they follow Bitcoin. This looks like it's getting ready to break out. So you can play those if you want, or just accumulate shares and get ready for the next volatile move. Because Bitcoin and Bitcoin miners they dump just as quickly as they rise up, and then eventually they consolidate like it's doing right now, and it has another run up. So it's you can really just start accumulating nice and cheap, and then when it goes back to 13, you can sell it for a good 70%. That's my strategy, at least for Riot and Mara. More so Riot because Mara is just still expensive. I mean, Mara used to be at like $8 or $4, and now it's at what 18. So I'm not chasing that. Uranium, if you want to play uranium, you'd have to wait for the breakout above 821. If that breaks out on Monday, you're gonna make money. It's gonna go as far. Yeah, if that breaks out, you're gonna. This thing has just been running. This is a huge uptrend. Look at that uptrend. Jeez, and it's not stopping. So this is a good one too. Good for day trading. This is like Nvidia, it just keeps going up. So if it breaks out, which this thing, in order to continue going higher and creating those higher lows and higher highs to continue that uptrend, it has to break out. Here it broke out and it went from eight. Yeah, it gapped up and went to as far as 780 from the breakout at 680. So look for a breakout here if you want to play uranium. SoFi, uh, wow, SoFi had a good earnings and it's still dumped. So I already bought in at $8 and I'm probably gonna buy more on Monday. But this one's a good swing trade as well. If you're looking to day trade it, I wouldn't recommend it. This is so much better for swing trading. So I'm looking to buy that one and start accumulating it. This one's Southwestern. Is this Southwestern Energy downtrend? Don't care for it. Gold has just been downtrending as well. Don't care for it. This is a Bitcoin miner that's showing a lot more weakness compared to the other stocks, the other Bitcoin miners. So I'm not touching that because it's showing a little too much weakness. Same thing with this one, another Bitcoin miner, Hive, showing more weakness. Notice it's not even going sideways. It's just it's still trending downward. Nah, this is showing more weakness compared to like Mara. Another Bitcoin miner, Cipher. You'll notice Mara is, lots of green candles, right? But then you look at Hive and it's like more red candles and it's just going straight down compared to in the short term it's just going down compared to Mara or Riot. But Mara and Riot just they show the most strength. So it's better to just buy those. BTBT, same thing. This one's even worse. Just four red just four red candles back to back. So these are the weaker Bitcoin miners. BitF, it's trying to hold up here with these green candles, but again, kind of the weaker Bitcoin miners. But you can make more percentage wise because they're cheaper. They're like $2. So if it goes up 50 cents, you just made like 25% in one day compared to Mara and Riot. Although you can make more with Mara and Riot if you're buying calls, of course. Tilray, I think this is near a bottom, I believe. Yeah, this is why I have this one on my watch. It's near a bottom, and I'm waiting for it to bottom out so I can buy in nice and cheap. I'm waiting for it to get down to 175 and under and start accumulating for a swing, a long-term swing. Same thing with Sound. Uh, Same thing. Like it's near the bottom. We're just waiting for it to get cheaper so we can load up bigger and just swing it to the upside. BKKT, same thing. We're getting into penny stocks now. BKKT. This thing has a bottom at around $1. As you can see, anytime it comes down here, it has a big run up back to $2 for a nice 100%er. At this point, I'm just waiting and I'm being patient. It'll come down. We'll buy it $1 and swing it. You just have to be careful because this one time it did dump to 63 cents. So you're gonna have to be cautious. But that's kind of the play there. Just be patient. Let it come down to $1. This is. Let me just draw the demand, not demand, the supply. So there you go. It's a trading range, easy money. Just buy low, sell high. But just be cautious because back then it literally broke down almost 40% from $1. So you still kind of you just want to be careful and make sure you get a bounce here and not don't just blindly throw money once it gets to this area. BKKT. So QIND. These are much riskier because these are actual penny stocks, real penny stocks. QAND, SAML, and ILIS, they're pretty much all the same thing. You just want to accumulate it for the next run up. And what is this? IGPK. This is looking primed to break 1 penny and possibly go. I don't know what the next level is. Let me look. If this breaks, this looks like it's ready to break one penny, and it's going to go to 125. It looks like 12125. So if it breaks that penny on Monday, you're going to see a nice 25% move for anyone who decides to buy at 1 cent. And that's about it. This is 15 minutes. That's all it took for me to figure out, okay, what am I playing and how am I playing them? And what's the strategy for each of these? That's because I have so much experience. But as you'll see, obviously, I'm not going to trade every single thing that I mentioned. I'm going to focus specifically on Netflix, Nvidia, and accumulating Sophie, and probably just keep a close eye on ILIS, AITX, SAML, QIND. Just keep a close eye on it. I'm not going to add, but I'm just going to keep a close eye on these. Like I just showed you a ton of plays and a ton of opportunity. But the reason I'm going to focus on SoFi, because some of you are going to correct me. SoFi is because it had good earnings. It's just been printing money. It took a huge dump after earnings, after a run up to like $9. I don't know why. Like imagine having good earnings and just you become the company became profitable and it's dumping. I'm buying. I already bought at $8. I'm gonna buy more Monday and probably a little more for a day trade. Nvidia, Netflix just getting ready to explode to either direction, looking more like it's gonna explode to the downside though. Nvidia is just showing a lot of strength day over day, so that one is worth touching in my opinion. And that's it. So out of all of those plays that I went over, I'm going to touch the ones that have the most opportunity, be it a swing trade or a day trade opportunity. And that's it for the video. I mean, we all want to capture a $50 move, right? Or $30 move. Well, guess what? Nvidia and Netflix, they can do that. I mean, it moved $30. It moved from 639 to 661. So not $30. Well, actually, it did move $30 because it gapped up from 630 to 639 and then ran up to 660. So it did move $30. If you include the gap, Netflix, very volatile. It can move, I mean, it can move what? 10, 20, $30 as well. SoFi, I'm just going to accumulate it and ready for that next swing. And that's it for the video. 17 minutes is all it took me to make to do all this. But normally if I wasn't making a video on this, it would just take me less than 10 minutes just to do everything I just did right now. But because I'm talking and showing you and going through the process of how I make my watch list for next week and how I go about breaking things down as I'm going stock by stock, you'll notice with each stock, every stock had a different strategy and approach. You know, I'm not going to just blindly buy Amazon because it's already ran up. But Nvidia, I mean, even though it's had a huge green day, I mean, even when it dips, look at these wicks, man. Even when it dips, it's profitable. You just got to buy the dip. Don't buy it at open. Buy the dip, and buyers just continue to step in. So that's why I would chase, quote unquote, chase Nvidia versus something like Amazon. This thing just has shown too much strength to ignore, and someone bought like $1,000 strike calls. So that, like, holy crap. So someone believes this is going to be worth even more than this. And it's just, like I said, it's just been going. And that's it for the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. You can take any one of those plays, look at those charts, and you'll see, like, hey, there's actually a lot of opportunity in the market when you really start breaking everything down and seeing, like, where the opportunities are. And you have your own strategies. I have my own. So of course I'm going to stick to what I feel like works for me. I think Monday I might do some day trading of options on Nvidia, and I'll just buy the dip with calls and see. And let's see if I make money. I'm developing a new strategy. I went over that strategy that I'm developing in the next video or previous video that I uploaded today, so you can check that out. But I am developing an NVIDIA strategy to take advantage of the fact that this thing just has green day after green day after green day, and when it does have a red day, guess what? Look at these wicks. Buyers are stepping in every single time. Sellers just can't push this down. So that's why you would want to chase this, in my opinion. But that's it. I'm done talking. I'll see you guys in the next one.